Your brain is not a fixed machine. It's a living, breathing system, more like a muscle than a motherboard. And just like any muscle, it can grow stronger, sharper, and more efficient with the right kind of training. The real question is not whether intelligence is inborn, but whether thinking itself can be upgraded. If you've ever felt mentally slow, unfocused, or trapped in repetitive patterns of thought, here's the liberating truth. You are not stuck with the brain you have today. You can train it to think better, deeper, and smarter. Most people assume thinking is automatic. Thoughts come and go, decisions get made, reactions happen. But very few people consciously train how they think. We train our bodies at gyms, our skills at work, even our social presence online. But our thinking habits? Those are usually left on autopilot. And that's exactly why mental growth feels accidental instead of intentional. Training your brain begins with awareness. The quality of your thinking is directly shaped by the quality of your attention. A distracted mind produces scattered thoughts. A focused mind produces structured thinking. When you constantly multitask, scroll endlessly, and consume fragmented information, your brain adapts by becoming fragmented. But when you practice deep focus, reading long-form material, solving complex problems, or reflecting without interruption, you literally rewire your neural pathways for better cognition. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections. This means every time you challenge your mind, you strengthen it. Learning a new skill, studying a language, playing strategy games, writing, debating, or even engaging in thoughtful conversation forces your brain to stretch beyond routine patterns. Comfort dulls thinking. Challenge sharpens it. But thinking better isn't just about processing speed or memory. It's about clarity. Many people have busy minds but not clear minds. Their thoughts race, but they don't progress. Training your brain requires mental decluttering. Journaling, for instance, is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools. When you write your thoughts down, you externalize mental noise. What felt overwhelming in your head becomes structured on paper. Clarity increases, anxiety decreases, and decision-making improves. Another powerful brain training method is questioning your own assumptions. Most thinking errors come from unchallenged beliefs. We inherit opinions from culture, family, and past experiences, and then treat them as facts. But better thinkers constantly ask, is this true? Is there another perspective? What evidence supports this? Critical thinking is not negativity, it's intellectual honesty. And the more you practice it, the sharper your reasoning becomes. Environment also plays a silent but decisive role in how your brain performs. If you surround yourself with shallow conversations, constant noise, and mental junk food, your thinking reflects that diet. But when you engage with insightful books, intelligent discussions, and thought-provoking content, your mental standards rise. Your brain mirrors what it consumes. Sleep, often overlooked, is another cornerstone of better thinking. You cannot train an exhausted brain. During sleep, your mind consolidates memories, processes information, and repairs neural pathways. Chronic sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired, it reduces cognitive flexibility, emotional control, and problem-solving ability. In simple terms, a rested brain thinks better. Physical movement matters too. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, stimulates neurogenesis, and enhances mood-regulating chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. That post-walk clarity you feel isn't imaginary, it's biological. A moving body fuels a sharper mind. Perhaps the most transformative mental upgrade comes from learning to think slowly. In a world addicted to instant reactions, slow thinking is a superpower. Quick thinking is useful for routine decisions, but complex problems require reflection. When you pause before reacting, analyze before deciding, and observe before concluding, your thinking gains depth. Wisdom lives in mental patience. It's also important to train emotional thinking. Logic alone doesn't produce good decisions. Balanced thinking does. Emotional awareness helps you recognize biases, triggers, and irrational reactions. When you understand your emotions, they stop hijacking your reasoning. Emotional intelligence, in many cases, is what separates smart people from effective thinkers. And then comes consistency. Brain training is not a one-time upgrade. It's a lifelong practice. Just like physical fitness fades without maintenance, mental sharpness declines without stimulation. The goal is not to think intensely once in a while, but to live thoughtfully every day, reading, reflecting, learning, questioning, and growing. The beauty of brain training is that progress compounds. Small mental habits, reading 10 pages daily, solving puzzles, learning new frameworks, practicing focus, create exponential cognitive gains over time. You may not notice change in a week, but over months and years, your thinking becomes more strategic, creative, and resilient. So, can you train your brain to think better? Absolutely. The brain you have today is simply the result of the thoughts you've practiced so far. Change the practice and you change the mind. Intelligence is not just inherited, it's cultivated. If you want sharper decisions, deeper insights, and a more powerful mental presence, start treating your brain like your most valuable asset. Feed it wisely. Challenge it regularly. Rest it adequately. And most importantly, use it consciously. Because the moment you begin training your thinking, you stop living on mental default and start operating on mental design. And that shift alone can transform not just how you think, but how you live. If this perspective sparked a new way of looking at your mind, don't let the momentum fade. Start today. Read something challenging. Write something reflective. Learn something unfamiliar. Train your brain deliberately, and watch your life follow your thoughts upward.